High in the cloud-kissed mountains of northern Peru lies Kuelap Fortress, an ancient citadel that rivals the fame of Machu Picchu yet remains far less explored. Built by the Chachapoya civilization, also known as the Warriors of the Clouds, Kuelap perches at over 3,000 meters above sea level, surrounded by steep cliffs and dense cloud forests. Visiting Kuelap is like stepping into a lost world where legends of cloud warriors and hidden treasures blend with breathtaking landscapes. It is a place where history, myth, and architecture merge in the misty heights of the Andes. Origins of the Chachapoya civilization. The Chachapoya civilization, builders of Kuelap Fortress, thrived in the cloud forests of northern Peru between 800 and 1470 AD. Often referred to as the Warriors of the Clouds, they were renowned for their defensive skills, intricate weaving, and architectural ingenuity. Little is known about their daily life because the thick forests and remote mountains limited contact with neighboring civilizations, preserving many mysteries. The Chachapoya built Kuelap as a fortified city, a sanctuary from both natural threats and human invaders. Archaeological evidence suggests that the fortress was more than a military installation. It likely served as a political, religious, and social hub for the region. The Chachapoya practiced unique burial rituals, including placing mummies in cliffside tombs and sarcophagi, reflecting complex spiritual beliefs about death and the afterlife. Their stone construction techniques were advanced, with circular buildings and carefully aligned walls that demonstrate sophisticated engineering. The Chachapoya resisted Incan conquest for decades, showing their resilience and strategic prowess. Today, their legacy survives through Kuelap and other archaeological sites, offering a rare glimpse into a society that thrived above the clouds while remaining largely hidden from the rest of the world. The strategic location of Kuelap Fortress was built atop a steep ridge overlooking the Utcubamba River Valley, making it nearly impregnable to enemies. Its elevation at over 3,000 meters provided natural defense, as the surrounding cliffs and cloud forest obscured approach routes and allowed early detection of invaders. The Chachapoya carefully selected this site for both security and visibility, ensuring that the fortress could monitor the valley below while remaining concealed within the misty mountains. Archaeologists note that the placement also demonstrates an understanding of the local climate and environmental conditions, with terraces and walls designed to mitigate erosion and landslides. Access to Kuelap was limited to narrow paths and stairways, which could easily be defended by a small force, showcasing the military sophistication of the Chachapoya. The fortress's location also served cultural and ceremonial purposes, as proximity to the clouds held spiritual significance for the inhabitants. Its strategic positioning above the valley not only protected its people, but also symbolized power and control over the surrounding region, making Kuelap a marvel of both military engineering and architectural foresight. Architecture that defies time. Kuelap Fortress is renowned for its massive stone walls, some reaching up to 20 meters in height, enclosing over 400 circular structures. The buildings are constructed from limestone, carefully shaped and fitted without mortar, demonstrating remarkable precision and stability. Each structure was designed with defensive considerations, including narrow entrances and thick walls, while also accommodating daily life, storage, and ceremonial activities. The circular design of the houses is unique to the Chachapoya, reflecting cultural and aesthetic preferences distinct from the rectangular constructions seen in Incan architecture. Terraces, ramps, and stairways connect different levels of the fortress, creating a multi-layered city that is both functional and visually striking. The walls are adorned with intricate carvings and niches, hinting at spiritual or symbolic significance. Despite centuries of exposure to weather, earthquakes, and vegetation, much of Kuelap remains intact, illustrating advanced engineering and durable construction techniques. This architectural brilliance not only ensured the fortress's longevity, but also highlighted the Chachapoya's ability to combine practicality, defense, and artistic expression in a challenging mountain environment. The defense mechanisms of the fortress Kuelap's design reflects an advanced understanding of military strategy and defense. The fortress is surrounded by two massive outer walls, each constructed to withstand siege and provide elevated positions for defenders. Narrow entrances forced attackers to funnel through choke points, where defenders could repel invaders easily. Circular buildings allowed residents to observe multiple angles simultaneously, while strategically placed terraces and stairways facilitated rapid movement within the fortress. Archaeologists have found evidence of guard posts, watchtowers, and storage areas for weapons or supplies, suggesting that the Chachapoya were prepared for prolonged sieges. The combination of natural and man-made defenses made Kuelap nearly impossible to conquer without insider knowledge or overwhelming force. Even when the Inca eventually subdued the region, Kuelap's design allowed the Chachapoya to resist for decades. The fortress demonstrates that defense was a priority in construction, blending architecture, geography, and tactical planning. It is a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the Cloud Warriors, who built a city that could stand against both nature and human threats for centuries. The mysterious circular houses, the circular houses of Kuelap, are among its most distinctive features, reflecting the Chachapoya's unique cultural identity. Each round structure, often clustered together, was likely used for living, storage, and communal activities. The interiors were carefully designed to provide warmth, ventilation, and protection from the mountain climate. Archaeologists believe that the circular shape may have had symbolic significance, perhaps related to cosmology or spiritual beliefs. The walls of these houses are reinforced with stone, while niches and doorways suggest multifunctional uses. Some structures appear to have been designated for elite members of society, indicated by larger sizes and intricate carvings. The arrangement of the houses within the fortress also demonstrates careful planning, with communal spaces, pathways, and terraces connecting different levels. These circular constructions set Kuelap apart from other Andean sites, highlighting the creativity and engineering skill of the Chachapoya. Visitors to Kuelap can see how these round houses blend functionality with aesthetic and spiritual considerations, offering a window into a civilization that thrived high above the clouds. The burial practices of the Cloud Warriors. The Chachapoya civilization is famous for its unique burial practices, which involved placing mummies in sarcophagi along cliff faces and within hidden tombs. These burials often included personal belongings, pottery, and ceremonial items, reflecting beliefs in the afterlife and the continuation of social status beyond death. Kuelap Fortress itself contains tombs within and around its walls, sometimes hidden in niches or behind walls, suggesting the integration of daily life and spiritual practices. Archaeologists have discovered mummies in fetal positions, wrapped in textiles and accompanied by symbolic objects, indicating complex funerary rituals. The placement of tombs in hard-to-reach areas may have served both protective and spiritual purposes, safeguarding the dead while bringing them closer to the clouds, a sacred element in Chachapoya culture. These burial practices reveal the civilization's sophisticated understanding of ritual, symbolism, and engineering. As cliffside tombs required careful construction and planning, the tombs of the Cloud Warriors add a mysterious and sacred dimension to Kuelap, reminding visitors that the fortress was not only a military stronghold but also a center of culture, spirituality, and reverence for ancestors. Rediscovery of Kuelap in modern times. Kuelap remained hidden from the wider world for centuries due to its remote location, steep access routes, and cloud-covered surroundings. Local communities knew of its existence, but it was largely ignored by outsiders until the 19th century, when explorers and archaeologists began documenting the site. Even then, its significance was overshadowed by Machu Picchu, which gained international fame for its preservation and discovery. Modern archaeology has gradually revealed Kuelap's size, complexity, and cultural importance, emphasizing its status as a major center of the Chachapoya civilization. Recent conservation efforts include cable cars, guided tours, and structural reinforcement to protect the site from erosion and vegetation. Researchers continue to study the fortress, uncovering artifacts, carvings, and human remains that shed light on the daily life, beliefs, and military strategies of the Cloud Warriors. Despite increased access, Kuelap retains an air of mystery due to its location, fog, and the enigmatic culture that built it. Its rediscovery has highlighted the importance of preserving lesser-known ancient sites that rival iconic landmarks in historical and cultural significance. Kuelap's place in Andean history. Kuelap Fortress holds a unique place in Andean history, representing a civilization that developed independently from the Incas while maintaining advanced engineering, architecture, and culture. The Chachapoya, or Cloud Warriors, demonstrate that sophisticated societies thrived in remote regions of the Andes, challenging assumptions about pre-Columbian history. Kuelap's construction, defensive design, and ceremonial spaces illustrate a civilization capable of large-scale organization, artistry, and strategic planning. Its circular houses, massive walls, and cliffside tombs reflect a culture deeply connected to both environment and spirituality. Comparisons to Machu Picchu often highlight differences in style, purpose, and historical context, showing that Kuelap was more than a fortress. It was a city, a spiritual center, and a symbol of Chachapoya resilience. The fortress's survival through centuries of isolation, conquest, and natural elements testifies to the ingenuity and determination of its builders. Today, Kuelap stands as a monument to human creativity, endurance, and the mysteries of ancient civilizations hidden high above the clouds, waiting to be fully explored and understood. The walls of Kuelap, giants of stone. The massive stone walls of Kuelap Fortress are among its most striking features, rising up to 20 meters in height and extending for over 600 meters in length. Constructed from carefully cut limestone blocks, these walls were designed to protect the inhabitants from both natural threats and human attackers. Each block fits precisely with its neighbors without the use of mortar, a technique that has allowed the fortress to withstand centuries of earthquakes, heavy rain, and shifting terrain. The walls also contain niches, doorways, and narrow openings that suggest defensive strategies, allowing guards to observe and repel invaders. Some sections were built with slight inward slopes to improve stability, demonstrating advanced engineering knowledge. Beyond defense, the walls served as a symbol of power and permanence, reflecting the authority of the Chachapoya civilization over the surrounding valley. Overgrown vegetation and misty clouds now cloak these walls, giving them an otherworldly appearance that captivates visitors. The walls of Kuelap are more than mere stone. They are a testament to the ingenuity, skill, and resilience of a society that thrived above the clouds, blending practicality with artistry in every layer of construction. Terraces and agricultural innovation. Kuelap Fortress was not only a defensive stronghold, but also a self-sustaining settlement, thanks to its sophisticated system of terraces. These terraces were carved into the mountainside to create flat, arable land capable of supporting crops and livestock, maximizing the limited space available in the steep terrain. Archaeologists believe that the Chachapoya grew maize, potatoes, and other high-altitude crops on these terraces, while also using them to prevent erosion and landslides. The layout reflects careful planning, as water management and drainage were integrated into the terrace design to maintain soil fertility and prevent flooding. These agricultural terraces allowed the fortress to sustain a significant population even during prolonged sieges or periods of isolation. Their construction also demonstrates the Chachapoya's deep understanding of local ecology and environmental adaptation, blending functionality with strategic placement. Visitors can still see the remnants of these terraces today, offering a glimpse into the daily lives of the cloud warriors and their ability to manipulate the rugged Andean landscape to meet both sustenance and defensive needs. Kuelap's terraces exemplify how innovation and survival were intricately linked in this remarkable civilization. Kuelap's ceremonial spaces within the walls of Kuelap lie areas believed to have been used for ceremonial and religious purposes. Archaeologists have identified structures and plazas that suggest communal gatherings, rituals, and possibly astronomical observations. Circular buildings with central fire pits may have served as temples or spaces for communal feasting, reinforcing social cohesion and cultural identity. Certain carvings and niches hint at symbolic or spiritual significance, although their precise meanings remain a mystery. Burial practices in adjacent cliffs indicate that the fortress integrated both the living and the dead into its sacred spaces, reflecting the Chachapoya's beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. The ceremonial areas demonstrate that Kuelap was not merely a military installation, but a thriving city with social, cultural, and spiritual dimensions. These spaces may have hosted rituals tied to agriculture, warfare, or celestial events, reinforcing the Chachapoya's connection to their environment and the cosmos. Visitors to Kuelap can sense the sacred aura of these sites, where human ingenuity, spiritual practice, and architectural sophistication converge high in the clouds. The cloud forest surrounding Kuelap Fortress is enveloped by a dense cloud forest, an ecosystem that thrives at high altitudes in the Andes. This natural barrier provided the Chachapoya with protection, concealment, and resources, including timber, medicinal plants, and food. The thick fog and steep slopes made the fortress nearly invisible from a distance, allowing the inhabitants to maintain privacy and strategic advantage. The biodiversity of the cloud forest also supported hunting, gathering, and agricultural activities, supplementing the terraces within the fortress. Over centuries, the forest has reclaimed parts of Kuelap, creating an eerie and mystical atmosphere. Archaeologists note that the forest likely influenced construction choices, as walls, buildings, and pathways were designed to adapt to the terrain and vegetation. Today, the cloud forest continues to challenge visitors with steep trails, slippery paths, and unpredictable weather, preserving the fortress's sense of isolation and mystery. The interplay between architecture and environment at Kuelap highlights how the Chachapoya harmonized their settlement with nature, using the clouds and forests as both a shield and a resource, ensuring survival in a challenging mountain landscape. Art and symbolism in Kuelap Fortress is adorned with artistic carvings, stone niches, and decorative features that hint at the spiritual and cultural life of the Chachapoya. These symbols are found on walls, around doorways, and near ceremonial spaces, and they may represent deities, ancestral figures, or cosmological beliefs. Circular and geometric motifs dominate the designs, reflecting the society's aesthetic preferences and possible symbolic meanings tied to cycles of life and nature. Some niches may have held offerings or ceremonial objects, indicating ritual use, while others could have served practical purposes in construction. The precision and consistency of the carvings demonstrate skilled craftsmanship, revealing the importance of art in daily and spiritual life. These decorative elements also suggest a culture that valued identity, memory, and communication through visual forms. While some meanings remain speculative, the art at Kuelap reinforces the idea that the fortress was more than a defensive site. It was a cultural center where symbolism, spirituality, and societal values were etched into the very stones of the city, leaving a legacy that continues to fascinate archaeologists and visitors alike. The Cloud Warriors' military prowess, the Chachapoya, were renowned for their martial abilities, earning the nickname Warriors of the Clouds. Their expertise in guerrilla warfare, mountain combat, and defensive fortifications allowed them to resist Incan expansion for decades. Kuelap Fortress was central to this strategy, offering a stronghold from which to defend their territory. Narrow entrances, elevated walls, and hidden terraces gave the defenders significant advantage over attackers. Historical accounts suggest that the Chachapoya used ambush tactics, knowledge of terrain, and fortified positions to repel invasions. The fortress not only protected inhabitants, but also served as a military command center, coordinating defense across the surrounding valleys. Archaeological evidence, including weapon fragments and guard posts, confirms the strategic and tactical sophistication of these cloud warriors. Their ability to integrate natural and man-made defenses demonstrates both ingenuity and discipline. Kuelap stands as a monument to their resilience, showing that a relatively small civilization could resist powerful empires while thriving in isolation. The legacy of the Cloud Warriors endures in the fortress walls, terraces, and circular structures that still dominate the Andean skyline. Discovery of Kuelap by modern explorers, although known to local populations, Kuelap remained largely hidden from the outside world until the 19th century. Early explorers and historians were fascinated by reports of a massive fortress high in the mountains, but its remote location and challenging access delayed serious study. In the 20th century, systematic archaeological expeditions began documenting the site, revealing its scale, architecture, and cultural significance. Researchers uncovered circular buildings, massive walls, burial sites, and terraces, gradually piecing together the lives of the Chachapoya. Despite increased knowledge, the fortress retained an air of mystery, partly due to the dense cloud forests and fog that obscure it from view. Modern conservation efforts, including cable cars and guided trails, have made Kuelap more accessible to tourists while preserving its structural integrity. The rediscovery of Kuelap has also highlighted the importance of lesser-known Andean sites, challenging the dominance of Machu Picchu in popular imagination. Kuelap's journey from obscurity to recognition showcases the resilience of both the fortress and the culture that built it, reminding us that history often lies hidden in plain sight, waiting to be rediscovered. Kuelap as a tourist destination today, Kuelap Fortress is emerging as a major tourist destination in northern Peru, offering a unique experience distinct from the more crowded Machu Picchu. Visitors can explore the circular houses, terraces, ceremonial spaces, and massive walls while enjoying panoramic views of the surrounding cloud forest and valleys. Guided tours provide insights into the Chachapoya civilization, their culture, and the strategic genius behind the fortress's design. The newly constructed cable car has made access easier, yet the journey remains a challenging and rewarding adventure through rugged Andean terrain. Tourism at Kuelap also supports local communities, encouraging preservation and awareness of this historical treasure. The combination of natural beauty, architectural brilliance, and cultural significance makes Kuelap an unforgettable destination. Walking through the misty corridors and terraces, one can imagine the Cloud Warriors defending their home, performing rituals, or going about daily life centuries ago. Kuelap demonstrates how ancient ingenuity, environmental adaptation, and human resilience can create a fortress that is not only historically significant, but also captivating for modern explorers seeking adventure. Preservation challenges at Kuelap. Kuelap Fortress faces significant preservation challenges due to its remote location, high-altitude climate, and exposure to natural elements. The constant moisture from clouds, frequent rainfall, and vegetation growth gradually erode the limestone walls and terraces, threatening the integrity of the structures. Earthquakes in the Andean region also pose risks, as the stone constructions, although durable, can shift or collapse over time. Conservation efforts have focused on reinforcing walls, stabilizing terraces, and clearing invasive vegetation without altering the historical authenticity of the site. Archaeologists and engineers work together to balance preservation with accessibility for tourists, ensuring that Kuelap can be experienced safely without accelerating deterioration. Additionally, local and national governments face the challenge of funding ongoing maintenance while promoting sustainable tourism. The delicate environment surrounding the fortress complicates interventions, requiring careful planning to avoid damage to the ecosystem. Despite these challenges, Kuelap continues to stand as a testament to Chachapoya engineering and resilience. Its preservation is crucial for understanding pre-Columbian civilizations and maintaining a cultural legacy that connects the past to the present for scholars, explorers, and visitors. Kuelap in relation to Machu Picchu. While Machu Picchu has long dominated global attention, Kuelap Fortress offers a comparable or even superior example of pre-Columbian ingenuity in northern Peru. Unlike Machu Picchu, which is widely associated with the Inca Empire, Kuelap represents the independent culture of the Chachapoya, providing insight into a distinct civilization that thrived in isolation. Both sites share architectural sophistication, integration with mountainous terrain, and strategic positioning, yet Kuelap's circular structures and massive stone walls create a different aesthetic and functional experience. Kuelap's elevation in the cloud forest emphasizes concealment and defense, whereas Machu Picchu blends spiritual, agricultural, and administrative functions. Visitors often remark that exploring Kuelap feels like stepping into a lost world, with fewer crowds and a more rugged, authentic atmosphere. The comparison highlights the diversity of Andean civilizations, demonstrating that innovation, culture, and resilience were not unique to the Inca. Kuelap challenges perceptions of pre-Columbian achievement and invites scholars and tourists alike to explore the rich tapestry of civilizations that flourished in the Andes long before the Spanish conquest. Archaeological discoveries and artifacts excavations at Kuelap have unearthed numerous artifacts that shed light on the Chachapoya civilization. Pottery, textiles, tools, and ceremonial objects reveal a society skilled in craftsmanship and trade. Some pottery pieces feature intricate geometric patterns, suggesting symbolic or cultural significance,